Thank you so much for your order. Now I'm going to show you what's inside and how to prepare your special meal. So this is our best of land and sea box. Now I'm going to show you what's inside. So the first thing you want to find in your box is the instructions for your box. On the front we have our lovely lobster logo with our heart at home. On the back of that you'll find the instruction sheet. There's a QR code here. Now if you scan it with your phone you'll be taken to the website where you'll find your instructions for your box. Below we have our preparation date and our use by. Now this use by is very important as we use fresh shellfish. Below we have our ingredient list with our allergens in bold. You can also access all this information on our website. So arrive with some nice ice packs inside, keeping all your produce lovely and cool. Then we've got our bread. So this is our corn coblet. So we'll take you through each course. It's a 3-course box. So first off, we suggest having the crab, white and brown crab dressed, along with our mango slaw and Asian dressing. So there's a spicy Asian dressing for the slaw. So that's your first course. Then we suggest going into your second course, which is our Scottish native lobster, fully dressed, prepared, ready for you to eat. And that's served with our mirin butter sauce and our seaweed potatoes. And finally, on the last course, we have our 32-day dry-aged beef. It's grass-fed as well. It's a ribeye. It's absolutely beautiful produce. And we like to serve that with, we've got a lovely steak seasoning for you and butter for a cooking process. Our XO sauce. And then finally, to serve with the steak, we have our Scottish tender stem broccoli. We have some broccoli seasoning and our smoked mayonnaise to serve with the broccoli also. And that's our land and sea box. So the first job we're going to need to do is preheat the oven to 200 Celsius. Now, if you do have a fan setting, I'd recommend use it. If not, it's not a problem. So now I'm going to talk you through the very simple step of reheating our bread. So the bread is completely cooked for you. It comes in a package. Just remove it from the packaging. You now discard the packaging. Take your bread onto an oven tray. We're going to put that into our oven. It's been preheated at 200 Celsius for 5 minutes. So now I'm going to show you how to prepare your crab. It's super simple. We've done all the hard work for you already. Crab will arrive in a bag like this. Using a pair of scissors or a knife, carefully open the bag. Remove your crab from the bag. Simple as putting the crab into the plate, and that's it. So we have our brown crab meat, white crab meat. So it's a dressed crab. It's been landed in our broth, a Scottish crab, and be careful when eating this. Sometimes you'll find small pieces of shell. And that's it, that's our crab. So now I'm going to take you through the simple steps to prepare your Asian salad. We've done all the hard work for you. This is really just as simple as putting it together. So we have our Asian salad that comes in a bag. So what we're doing is we're just taking the salad out of the bag. Firstly, remove your half lime. Take your Asian salad, pop it into a mixing bowl. We've also provided you with a spicy Asian dressing. Using a pair of scissors, simply cut a corner off the bag. Take the dressing and place inside of the Asian salad. Asian dressing is inside the salad. All you do is use your hands, put your hands inside the salad and give it a toss. You can be quite harsh with this point. You want these kind of cells of the vegetables kind of break and they soak up all the dressing. As simple as that. Now we've got our garnish bowl that you're going to present in. You can serve in here if you want to, but just be nice on the table. Pick the salad up, place into the bowl. Try and give it a bit of height as well at the same time. Make it look very nice on the table. Don't waste anything. And then simply take the lime, pop it on the side of the salad. And as simple as that, that is the Asian salad preparation. So now I'm going to show you how to prepare the potatoes. Take a pair of scissors, open your bag nice and carefully, pop them onto a nice oven tray. Take your butter into a few knobs. As simple as that. We're going to put it into our oven that's preheated at 200 Celsius for 30 minutes. So we're just going to leave that for 30 minutes and come back to it. So now we're going to prepare our lobster and mirin. This is my signature dish. This is the First lobster dish we did in our restaurant and the main box that we sell on the website. So we've got our fully dressed lobster, comes already prepared in a bag. So we simply remove the lobster from the bag. This is completely dressed, ready for you to eat. You don't need any utensils except from a fork to be able to eat this. We've put a little bit of butter on top. So we simply place that onto an oven tray and pop it into your preheated oven for 10 minutes. Leave that for 10 minutes and we finally come back and sauce it and we're ready. So now I'm going to talk you through how to heat up your mirin butter sauce. For this step you'll need a small pan and a whisk, as simple as that. Now we've prepared your butter sauce that comes in a tub like this. All you need to do is carefully open your tub. So quickly take your pan, a few tablespoons of water in there, just a very quick little splash, and we want to put that onto a medium temperature. The reason we don't go too high is if it's too hot, the butter is going to split out. If it's too cold, it's not going to melt. So number 6, it's going to take about 30 seconds to come up to temperature. At this point, take your butter sauce and your spoon and just kind of scrape it on the sides to kind of ease it out of the tub. We'll just kind of have that into little pieces ready to go into the water. Now we can see there's a little bit of steam coming from the pot. So it's not boiling either, it's just hot. All we do is simply take a small piece of the butter to start with, place it inside the water, and you want to whisk. We want to make sure we're whisking at all times. The reason for this is we want to emulsify it. Now if we don't whisk, what's going to happen is the fats and the liquids are going to separate. So now we've started the base here. You can see the base is coming together. You can place the rest of the butter into the pot and again whisk. Now keeping on that medium heat, number 6. If you've got gas, you want to go dead center so you're not high, low, right in the middle, and just keep whisking. All we're after is this butter melting and getting hot. Not looking for a boil or a simmer. Keep whisking, and at this point you'll see all the butter has dissolved, and that's it. As simple as that. That's our mirin butter sauce. Now it's quite important to not leave that on the stove and let it boil, because then it's going to split out again. The fats will separate from the liquid. At this point, place it to the side. When your lobster comes out of the oven, it's ready to be dressed. So now the lobster's been in the oven for 10 minutes. We're going to carefully take the oven, use an oven glove or a kitchen towel. This lobster is lovely and hot now. So all we're going to simply do is put it on the plate, garnish it with our sauce that we've already done. So carefully take your lobster, place it onto your plate. So as we said, we've got our mirin sauce we prepared earlier. We're going to divide that over the 2 lobsters. Be generous with the sauce as well, covering all that lovely lobster meat. And that's that, my signature dish, our lobster and mirin. So now we're going to do the steak preparation for you. So for this, we're going to need an oven tray, a frying pan. You're going to need your steak that's come out of your box. Now, my recommendation is leaving this out of the fridge about an hour before we cook. It's good to have the steak at room temperature. We've got our butter that comes in the box here, our steak seasoning, a spoon for basting, scissors for opening, and a knife for carving. We also need some neutral oil. Now the first thing we're going to do here is turn the stove up to number 9 or up to high on gas, as high as you can go. You want this pan smoking hot. Okay, so we're going to take our steak, take some kitchen paper, put a sheet down on your board, take your steak out of the bag and straight onto your kitchen paper. Take another piece on top and press down. What we're doing is we're drying off the steak, taking any excess moisture. What this is going to do is help us get a really good caramelization on the steak itself. Then we're going to take our steak seasoning, open that up. Loads of lovely spices in this. And what we're going to do is generously season that steak with this seasoning on both sides. You can see that pan is getting lovely and hot, it's starting to smoke. So use all your seasoning, get it all over there. What it's going to do is going to create a lovely crust. It's just flavour. Take some neutral oil into a pan, smoking hot. like so. Be quite generous with it. And then we're going to go steak in the pan. Now be careful when placing the steak in the pan. Place down and face away from you. Now all we're going to do is slightly push our hand down on the steak, making sure all the surface area on the bottom is touching the pan. That's going to get an even caramelization on your steak. Again, we're not shaking the pan, we're not moving the steak around. We're just going to leave it as is and let it caramelize. Now we've got our pot of butter. Now the butter is for basting the steak, so we're going to wait until we turn it over. Now this takes about a minute and a half. If you've got a really good high heat in your pan, it's quicker. And obviously it's going to take a little bit longer if you've got not a strong stove. So what you do is you get a pair of tongs. We're just going to have a peek just to check the colour. We're going to have a look at that, and that's absolutely beautiful. So all we're going to do is turn that over. Lovely colour on that steak. So now we're just leaving that steak to caramelize. We've turned the steak over now, letting the other side caramelize. At this point, we take our butter. There's 2 cubes in here. Put one at either side of the pan and let it melt, okay? You push the steak to the top of the pan, tilt the pan down, and you're going to start basting the steak, okay? You see the butter will start to foam. On induction, lay it flat again, let that heat build in the pan. Tilt it, baste it. What you're after is for the butter to start foaming. You see that starting to appear here in the pan. Tilt that and we baste the steak. So this is adding a lovely nutty flavour to the steak because of the butter, but also because we're basting. Basting it is giving heat from the top whilst heat's coming from the bottom. This is the chefy part to this dish. And now we've basted it, I'm going to take this out onto an oven tray. Get some of your butter on top. And now we're going to put that into the oven. Now on your instruction sheet you'll see the times for the temperature of cooking you're going to be doing. So today we're doing medium rare, so we're putting that in for 14 minutes. The oven has been preheated to 200 Celsius. Just like that, we leave our steak in the oven and come back to it in 14 minutes. So now I'm going to show you how to prepare the XO sauce. Super simple. We've prepared it for you in this tub. So carefully open the container. All we're doing is place it into a pot. Now it is quite thick, so what I suggest doing is taking your pot, a little splash of water inside. If you close the lid again, give it a little shake. This way we're not wasting any of the sauce whatsoever. Pop that into your sauce. So we're putting it on a medium heat, and all we're doing is simply warming that slowly. You can use a whisk, a spoon, it's your choice. As simple as that. That's our XO sauce. We'll let that come up to temperature, make sure it's piping hot before serving, and that's it. So now the potatoes have been in the oven for 30 minutes. We're just going to get a kitchen cloth or an oven glove and take them out. They're going to be lovely and golden brown. What I do myself is I take my thumb and I push down on a potato to see if it's soft. If it's soft, it's ready. If you push down on your potato, it's not soft, just leave it in for another 5 minutes to come back to it. Now we're just going to simply put them all into a lovely bowl. So lovely, these are Pierre Kaufmann potatoes. My favourite little new potatoes these are. Any excess butter in the pan, drizzle that on top. A very nutty flavour from the butter now it's been roasted. And that's that. So that is our seaweed new potatoes. So that's our steak, been in the oven for 14 minutes. I'm going to get that out. What you want to do is you want to feel it. Find the thickest part, have a feel. This is medium rare, so what I'm after for is in my hand, with an open hand. If you feel this part of your thumb, push down. That's sort of same feeling as you want in your steak. Now, if you want like a more medium, thumb and index together, middle finger goes medium well. And there we go, that's well done. So that's the sort of feeling you want for well done. So we've got our steak ready. We get our sauce back on the heat. our XO sauce. So just bring that up. We want that nice and hot for the steaks. We're going to just pop that into our chopping board. So we want to drip off as much of the excess juice as much as possible. Place it on your chopping board. Any excess you have, straight into your sauce. Added flavour. Don't waste anything. That is all flavour in there. So the steak is now out of the oven, resting on our chopping board. You want to rest it there for about 10 minutes before we slice it. So now we've got our XO sauce, steak residue and butter heating up nicely in there. We've got our steak here. So what I recommend is having some kitchen towel, paper towels at the ready on your chopping board. And what we're going to do, once we slice this, we're going to let the kind of blood soak onto the tissue paper before we put it into the bowl. So our steak, using a nice sharp knife, we're going to cut at an angle from the top to the bottom. Don't want to go too thin. Too thin is going to cause too much blood to run out and for it to cool quicker. So you want a nice heat. So that sauce is nice and boiling now. We've cut the steak. We get our paper, lift that steak nice and carefully onto the paper just for a moment. It's going to soak up any residue we have there. Sauce is boiling into a nice sauce jug on the side. Now we take our steak, put it in so nicely off the paper into your bowl. And what to do is just try and open it up slightly to show that kind of lovely colour on your steak. So that's as simple as it gets. That's our steak with XO sauce. I hope you enjoy. Harrot Home, bringing fine dining to your home. Head to our website harrothome.co.uk.